that the cars get that extra little bit of preparation, the liveries become ever smarter, and as you rightly say, Alan, it is an opportunity for them to be on the biggest stage of the season and to underline their prowess, because these drivers come back year after year after year. They know this circuit relatively well, therefore, and although they don't perhaps do a vast amount of racing elsewhere, this is a place where you start to see the stars, because knowing this circuit like Bathurst or the Nürburgring in different ways, the confidence in the circuit will out, and therefore that's where you find the star drivers around here. It's a wonderful entry as well. It's called the Roadsport Challenge, but you've got lots of hot hatches, you've got four-wheel drive turbo cars, there's Mitsubishi Evos in abundance, you've got Minis, you've got Peugeots, there is a Ford Fiesta, there's a Chevrolet Cruze, Volkswagen Sirocco, there's all sorts of randomness on a very, very smart grid. Yesterday, they did put themselves in a little bit of strife on occasions. One or two cars got the odd dent, but with lessons learnt from yesterday, it's going to be really interesting to see partly what the lap time is going to be like in this qualifying session, but also to see whether the stars of yesterday are still the stars, or whether lessons learned now catapult other people up to the top of the times.
Yeah, although we had two 25-minute sessions yesterday, it was free practice yesterday. Today, it's competitive for the first race 1 tomorrow, and a longer race 2 on Sunday to look forward to as well. And this is a great opportunity as well. All the drivers making the most of a thumbs up or a wave to the camera, because television coverage is a big thing. They can show off their sponsors, they can show off what they can do on circuit, and I'm sure that it could lead on to the deals that they're going to put together for next year, to be racing next year. It's an important part of it, isn't it?
It is, absolutely right. And although it's arguably a support race, you know, for the local drivers, this is, like we keep making the point, a very big deal indeed. And for the local teams, local sponsors, local industries, the Macau Grand Prix means so much. There you can see more of the variety within around the Subaru Impreza of Huzhe Liang, and their number 46, which is the Junior da Costa Pereira Ford Fiesta ST, the 1600cc turbocharged car. Junior Pereira, another man to watch. In 42, there is Leung Yok Choi with the very smart Sirocco R, the lone Volkswagen Sirocco R. But go back a few seasons, there was a grid full of these cars in the celebrity race here for Macau veterans. Amongst the Minis yesterday, Rui Vallant had problems, didn't really get the best out of that car, hoping for better fortune
early on
today.
As well. Yeah.
And that's normally a quick car.
Absolutely quick driver, huge amount of experience. A quick wave to the camera, and onto the number 13 car that you just mentioned, Sticky Chung, and a wave for the camera, a fist bump with the team, and windows will go up, because we are just 3 seconds away from getting this session underway. Green flag will wave in the assembly area, which is nestled between the back of the garages in the pit lane and the garages on the other side of the assembly area, and that's when we'll get the cars making their way out onto the circuit. Due to get underway for 25 minutes at 8:20, just a couple of seconds after that now, but cars are released, so onto the track they go.
One by one, yes.
One by one, and it's a very big field, isn't it? How many did we have yesterday? Something over 30 cars, I think it was.
Yeah, I think 35 ventured out, yeah. So out they all go, one by one. And we keep talking, we did in free practice yesterday, about the length of the lap, 6 kilometres and a fraction, and therefore an out lap takes time, especially when you're being released one by one like this, so you're all in good order. The back of the pits rather than from your garage. They don't have pit garages, so they have to go to the collecting area, then they're released. So it does take a while to get them onto a flying lap. So you can't muck about in all of this, and it's essential, therefore, that you keep off the wall, you keep out of trouble, and put in at least a banker lap. You can build on that without being a hero.
34 cars, I think, have left and taken to the circuit, and this, of course, the out lap. This is
that's not
bit
a
of steam and smoke coming out of the number 15 car. That's Wan Jingteng.
I think that's more than steam and smoke, isn't it? That's looking very terminal. But you're right, that's not a good start, and the circuit is now virtually shrouded in the smoke. He's on the racing line as well, which doesn't help, so that is a car that needs to be off the road at the next available opportunity. It's all steamed up inside as well, but that almost looks like something has blown, doesn't it?
It does, and that car was third quickest in the quicker of the two sessions yesterday, so that's a significant problem and lo, the smoke has gone away.
It has,
Ish.
but it's filled up the cockpit. I think it's all rather the condensation inside the car. So he's limping on. Oh, and another car has stopped. Now that, I have a horrible feeling, might be Junior Pereira's Ford, but that's brought out a yellow flag. You know what's going to come next, don't you? If that doesn't restart, they're going to have to stop the session to get that car out of the way. And that's the last thing we need so early in the day. However, let's, for the moment, look on the positive, which is that everybody else is circulating.
And getting heat into the tyres as much as they can. That's the significant part about this outlap onto the circuit, to set themselves up for the first of the flying laps. However, if there is need to bring stop, we're still green at the moment, so that's very good news. Just caught there, the number 18 car, very smart black and gold car of Chu Hio Fong in the RPM Racing Team Mitsubishi Evo 9, and that car was second quickest in free practice 2. They're the significant times that we'll talk about, I think, when referencing free practice, because that was the quicker of the sessions.
Yeah, much quicker, wasn't it? By about 4 seconds, the top time yesterday.
Yeah, they first session yesterday morning, they had a stoppage, and that was for the number 59 car of Wang Kuai-Hua, and therefore difficult to get into a groove when you can get some meaningful laps. Now, we do little puffs of smoke that we get from the back of, namely the Mitsubishis. In previous years, we've worried about that a little bit, but very often it proves to be absolutely to worry. There we just saw a little puff of smoke from another one of the Mitsubishis. Osorio Matthias Lay goes third, and as they all sort themselves out, they are going on to the first of their flying laps now.
They are headed by then number 3 Luciano Castillo-Lameras, who was the quickest driver in that second session. There's a slippery surface flag out in the early part of the lap, a legacy of that rather smoky Mitsubishi that we saw earlier of Wang Jin-sun. But that car, I think, crawling its way back towards the pit lane now. So this is the lap really that's of interest. It's a proper flying lap, and with a huge amount of commitment there. Look, diving up the inside line goes Wang Ka-Huang. So the Bobadilla Racing Mitsubishi looking rapid, accelerating out of Lisboa, which was catching out people yesterday. Then the climb up San Francisco Hill to see whether or not we can get times into the 2:37s or better, as Luciano Castillo-Lameras presses on, and by dint of being out early, he has done the key thing. He's bought himself clear track space.
Certainly has. It's going to be absolutely vital, isn't it? It's all about the exit from the pit lane and going on to the warm-up lap, whether you can buy yourself a lap, or sometimes we saw yesterday for some of the categories 2 laps when qualifying gets underway without any traffic to worry about. And this is a clear lap. This is lovely.
This is exactly what he needs. The circuit, of course, still rubbering in, and in relatively cool temperatures. Luciano Lameras then drops down the hill, makes the run now on towards Police, and then up towards Moorish. So this will give us a target time. This is the really testing part of the circuit. It's narrow, and you've got to keep it away from the wall, which Lameras does nicely. Heads up the hill now towards Donna Maria, but without any traffic whatsoever to worry about. A good banker lap here. It may well stand as the time to beat for the session. Through that left-hand hairpin, back on the power, and then, Alan, to one of the iconic elements of the circuit, the Macau hairpin.
No overtaking here throughout the course of the 4 days for the Macau Grand Prix, and that's for cars. Space to get 2 bikes alongside coming around the Melco hairpin, although I'm not sure I've seen it that often. It's a really tight manoeuvre to get 83 cars around the Melco hairpin, and a sign of extreme skill as well. You just saw the little puffs of smoke that we talked about from the back of the Mitsubishis. Nothing to worry about by and large, and the number 3 car topped the times yesterday in free practice 2, Luciano Castillo-Lameras, and that's a problem for number 14, Leung Kin-ong.
Yeah, and that's heading up towards Moorish, isn't it? And it's on the racing line.
It's quite a tight section of circuit as well.
I've got a horrible feeling that if that's not going to restart on its own, and there's no reason that that car would have stalled there if it weren't a mechanical problem. We're going to end up having to stop the session. So race controller looking at this. There's a double yellow flag out at that marshal's post, MP15, as the target time has been set by Geronimo Balaraco now, 2:37.649. There in the pits is number 15 after its smoky arrival, Wang Jin-sun. So we've got a slippery surface flag out, you've got a double waved yellow, up to second fastest now, number 25, which is Chen Chi-ha's Mitsubishi, and then third, Wong Kar-hong, 2:42 against the 2:39 of Chen Chi-ha. So where out of all of that is Lamerash, who we were looking at. He has not been given a lap time yet.
Which was exactly, it explains the puzzled look on my face as I was looking down the timing screen. I don't know is the answer.
Either it's a transponder glitch or he's out of sequence, and when he was on his own, it was an out lap, but I thought that was a proper flying lap.
We saw the lap.
Yeah.
But we'll keep our eyes on the timing screen. We're now looking at Chu Hio-fong.
And again, that's almost now trademark smoke puffing out of the back of the Lancer, but it doesn't slow them.
No, it just worries us occasionally,
yes.
But no cause for worry, I don't think.
It's the automotive version of a dog's wet nose, isn't it? You see, it's a smoky Lancer, and it clearly makes sure the car is good. This is the waved yellow area, and you can see why. Yeah. And this is also, even if the session carries on, it's going to have the effect on the times, because you have to go slowly with the car on the racetrack like that. But I'd be surprised if they're prepared to let that sit there for 17 more minutes.
Wong Kar-hong there, and just briefly saw that car. Is that number 13 car getting neatly out of the way?
I think Dicky Chung's got a problem.
It's got a problem. So too, there's a problem coming out of this bow up toward San Francisco there.
That was Leung Yok Choi Sirocco, which again is on the racing line and crawling around.
And it's a long way to go from there. A very long way to go. So a busy lap for problems.
It's almost a lottery now, isn't it? Because there are so many cars in strife. You know, whatever you are up to can all go out of the window if suddenly you find a slow car. And I'm surprised that they're having mechanical maladies here. Number one, last year's winner, dominant winner in fact, he won both races, Leon Wong there, backing off ever so slightly as Chu Hio-fong nips past him, makes the move on the inside line into our bend and goes through. So although it's still Geronimo Balaraco at the top of now, Chu Hio-fong goes third quickest on a 2:42.262. But Leon Wong, number one, is a long way back, only 12th fastest.
And Geronimo Balaraco with a time of 2:27.6 sits on top of the times at the moment. We have a glitch with our timing, I think, because we still haven't seen the mirror time coming up.
I think it's his transponder. It's not working, to be fair to him. And equally, he's not shown on that timing screen. You said 34 had gone out. You're right, and there's a 35th, but that's the one that's not being shown. Geronimo Balaraco, 2:37.649 for the pole position time. We can talk about pole position now. He's in the pit lane.
2:37.6 for Balaraco into pit lane. So too the 25 car, which is currently second place. That's Chen Chi-ha, and the time there, some 2.2 seconds adrift of the provisional pole time, 2:39.886.
Now they get two sessions, so again it could be that the quicker times are done in the later session, and that might be true enough if there are fewer stranded cars around the racetrack. Leon Wong then in the ultra smart Mitsubishi Evo 10. He's found himself in a pocket of traffic this time around, because there you've got To Lap Pang's Evo 9 just ahead of him, and he's a little bit trapped now, partly because of traffic, and then he's also got this yellow flag zone that he's heading towards. Paul Fan's Mini up the road as well. And this is the run down the hill. And Leon Wong, I think, has backed out of this lap, hasn't he, as they get to police.
So 59 an improvement. Wong Kwai-wah to 6th position on that lap. They are... it really is quite tight there, isn't it?
I'm still surprised it's there, but the race director clearly feels that with the yellow flags and people responding to them,
things can continue.
Yeah, the message gets through. But obviously with a yellow flag zone, it is going to affect what you can do for a lap time, because you should not be improving in that sector with a parked car. So that's going to be something for the stewards to look at. But times will improve because the cars now are all on that level playing field. It's a yellow flag zone for everybody. They're getting lighter on fuel and the tyres are getting warmer, so lap times will be quicker as Paul Fan comes towards us, being chased in turn there by number 10 To Lap Pang and then by Leon Wong behind him. Geronimo Badaraco is still the quickest and Paul Fan has backed off.
Slowed right down there, number 62 Mini.
And there was another slow car on the other side of the road at the back of the shot.
We've had a lot of slow cars during this session. We've only completed seemingly a couple of flying laps and quite a few cars being indicated as slowing down around the circuit or indeed coming to a stop. That's Wan Long, winner from last year.
Yeah, I mean, he was utterly dominant last year, Leon Wong, wasn't he? But he's not being able to, as yet, match that pace this year. That car is not really delivering in this session. He is only 18th on a 2:59 as against a 2:37 of quickest driver Geronimo Badaraco.
Far fewer entries last year. It was the Win Macau Challenge Cup last year, but the Mitsubishis were the predominant car, so plenty of drivers and machinery that you see out in the Roadsport Challenge this year. That's a problem for the Ford, the number 46 car, and that's Junior da Costa Pereira.
Yeah.
That car has come to a stop at Marshall Post at 21.6.
It's coming towards Fisherman's, I
It
think.
is, yeah.
We saw it in the background going slowly as Ben Lowe's Fiesta number 19 goes through, the Team Pro Spec Fiesta ST. Oh, now that's heartening news. Number 42 of Leung Yok Choi, the Sirocco, which was going slowly when we last saw it at Lisboa. That's picked up pace once again, so he must have had a moment at Lisboa and was recovering from that. So that's the good news. Badaraco then the fastest from Chanchiha, and then third fastest right now, number 18, making it a Mitsubishi 123, Chu Hu Fong. Fourth quickest is 82, One Car Hong's, guess what, Mitsubishi. Fifth fastest is number 5, Sabino Asaro Matthias Lai's Mitsubishi. And then sixth fastest, number 59, yet another Mitsubishi of Wan Kwa Wa.
Am I allowed to still be concerned that we don't have a number 3 appearing on our... that's good news, the Ford has got going. But we still don't have a number 3 transponder. If there is a problem for the transponder, it's not appearing now as a manual time around the lap, and it's a significant car because Ramirez was quickest yesterday in free practice 2. So I am still concerned that we might be updating the order as we're giving it to you now.
It should, the time should be in the system somewhere, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
But as yet, they're not being able to be revealed to the timing display that we're looking at. But Luciano Castillo-Lamerache, then we know he's out there, but the transponder says otherwise. So number 1, Leon Wong, still pressing on to see whether he can improve from 20th. He's now fallen to, which is one of the big surprises of the session. We're over the halfway mark as you look there at number 18, Chu Hu Fong, who is third. Wong needs to improve on this lap. Comes down towards our bend, and not only is he a long way back, he's something like 22 seconds away from the pace. He's now gone third, so a better lap time offered up there by Leon Wong, 2 minutes 40.329. He's taken his time to do that, but it has worked for him.
Well, they've been able to get into a bit of a groove and chip away at the times. They've come down over the course of the qualifying session, and we've got 10 minutes just about remaining in this 25-minute session.
Now there is Luciano Lamerache, who is pressing on, and it may be that ultimately we tell you that that's the fastest car in the session, but lap times come there none, rides the bump, and it looks really absolutely quick. Flat out, doesn't it?
It looks really quick. Yeah. He's got traffic in front of him, but just from the body language of the car, that car is really being hustled around through Lisboa. Oh, that's not a good place to have traffic, because once they get round, once he gets around San Francisco, up San Francisco Hill, there's going to be plenty of traffic. That's the tight part of the circuit as well, where it becomes tricky to get past traffic.
And I think he's backed out of it. The engine note changes as he goes up San Francisco Hill. So that might be that Lamerache thinks, well, my last lap was an absolute what's it on the block sort of a lap, and I've done what I can do. It might be that he knows there's traffic up the road, but I think it's probably the fact that the last lap was such a committed one, he thinks he's done the time. That car has been there by the side of the circuit since the start of the session. It is yet to really reveal itself, that. But I think it's one of the Mitsubishis. It's either Leung Kin On or that of Mochi 5 that hasn't done a lap time.
I think it's Mochi 5.
Is it? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. think I identified the number in the distance there.
So yellow flags still out then coming out of Mandarin as Luciano Lamerash on an easy lap returns to the pit lane, and
that's number 10, I think.
Tolat Pang. Okay. That was the car I thought we were for Mo2 Anyway, it's off the racetrack now, whereas we've still got this yellow flag heading up the hill.
We have. And that's the reason why it's a squeeze to get a car through there with a stricken car on the left-hand side, and we are not as committed for Lamerash this time, not surprisingly.
It might even be a pit-in lap, mightn't it?
I think it might, but thank you for providing us with a huge amount of excitement just before he eased off the power, because the car, from the body language of the car, he was properly on that lap. Very impressive.
But he slows right down coming out of the Macau hairpin, almost suggesting that he's going to pull the trigger in a minute and go for another flying lap.
Oh, please do.
I think, yeah, he might be. He's given the tyres a breather, and now he does pick up the pace. Look, coming towards Fisherman. So Luciano Lamerash is going to have another roll of the dice here. He's back on the money, isn't he, as he comes then through the first of these two right-handers at the end of the lap, but it's the start of the next one that he's building up to. Then he's got the momentum, comes down towards our bend, sets the car up, flicks it right, nails the throttle, drags it out of the corner the other side. He's about to break the timing beam, and with 7 minutes on the clock now, Luciano Lamerash starts what could be a pole position lap.
Yeah, and setting the lap up, backing off at the start of the previous lap, just to try and think about the following lap, and that's the lap we're on now. Car looked absolutely wonderful through Mandarin last time, and I think this is going to be equally committed. It is equally committed. You see the car bounce. He's got more traffic in front of him, though, and he's got the traffic in front of him at pretty much the same point as it was on the previous lap. Backs off.
Yeah.
So, well, it was worth it to see the car coming through Mandarin.
Absolutely right. So big frustration for Lamerash. So again, it'll be a slow lap to try to let that traffic go, and then he'll have another go.
That's commitment. Manual timing here in the box now.
Well, seeing that the transponder's not playing, I've got my good old-fashioned stopwatch
well
on the go.
done.
So, yes.
That would have been well worth it. We've still got time, though.
Oh, yeah, no, he's got 6 minutes, and I think he'll have another go. He knows traffic, so he'll back off, let that go, and have another stab at this. What we don't know is where he is in the order at the moment. As I say, the car isn't reflecting lap times, which must be that the transponder isn't working. They'll be in the system somewhere, but Lamerash wants another go at this, as there is Leon Wong, who has dropped back to fourth now. Badaracco from Sabino Matthias Lai, up to second fastest.
Badaracco has only done that one flying lap. That's impressive, isn't it?
That's confidence, isn't it?
Spent the rest of the time in pit lane. That's a problem. Two minis come together. The 96 machine, which is...
red flag.
Changqing Sang, and the 33 car, which is the car of Ho Kai Meng. And Ho Kai Meng, I think both of the cars have got going now, haven't they?
They have,
so, yeah.
So,
but already the red flag has gone out. Okay, the 96 car has clearly got problems after that coming together, and the tyre smoke from the left front very evident as it creeps its way back round to pit lane.
Well, what this does at least do is give the marshals a chance to... Oh, the session won't be resumed either. So with 5 minutes to go, it won't be restarted, and that takes the opportunity away after all of that from Luciano Lamerash to go yet faster. So with cars, I was about to say, littering the circuit anyway, and now that tangle between the minis, the session is stopped. It's not going to be restarted, and so the order is the order, but we need to put into it somehow, somewhere, Lamerash once that transponder picks up again.
And I think certainly judging on the times that we saw the car on camera, it's going to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, I agree. Number 11 Mini in the pit lane of Chelio Alves Dias, only 19th. They do get another qualifying session, of course, later in the day, so drivers take their better time out of those two sessions, as number 12, the Peugeot RCZ there of Ip Tak Meng, sits in the pit road at the end of a session in which it was 14th fastest.
And that second session is later this afternoon, as you say, 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's a hot day in Macau today.
Yeah.
It's 8:41 in the morning. It's already 24 degrees, sunshine, no conceivable cloud in the sky, and a very humid, about 88% humidity. And that means it's hard work inside these cars. So a very physical circuit, demanding, testing, and make no mistake, once they come to a stop down in pit lane, they need to get out the car as quickly as they possibly can to try and cool down.
And of course they get 2 races, the first of which is 8 laps, the second on Sunday, if you like, the feature race, 12 laps. But Geronimo Badaracco then tops the times on a 2 minutes 37.649, quicker than Sabino Osorio Matias Lai by 1.9 seconds. Chan Chi-ha third from Leon Wong. Chu Hu Fong is 5th, and the top 6 rounded out by Wang Ka-hong with the first qualifying session then complete. That order may shuffle a little in terms of we need to put somehow Luciano Lamerache into the order for the Bobadilla Racing Team, but it's first blood then to Geronimo Badaracco. He is fastest in Q1 for the SJM Macau Roadsport Challenge.